Ooh, how you doing? So it's September. It's a day and a month to remember. So the question for today is, what is a pet peeve of yours? What is a pet peeve of yours? I have a couple. I have a couple. Um, for me, it's liars, people that play games, people that take themselves too serious. But that's just off of people. I don't like when, well, also, this is also people. I don't like when people smoke around me. You know, I've gotten more accustomed to the weed smell because I'm like, where I live and the area I'm in, you got to get adjusted to that. You got to get used to that. It's just what it is. Um, but that I'm okay with. For a long time, I wasn't, but I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is when people are on cigarettes. They're on, um, what are the other ones? Like Juuls and nicotine, stuff like that. Like, if you're gonna do that, don't be around me. Please don't be around me. That's just something that I don't want to be around. It's something I won't do. And, like, for example, when I'm looking at like when I'm talking to girls and stuff, and because in the past I've talked to some girls and I didn't see it until after, but they were smoking cigarettes before it even got any further. I would see them smoking cigarettes, and I'm just like, uh. Or I would see a girl from afar, and I'd be like, ooh, she fine, ooh. But then I see her on the side smoking, and I'm like, oh gosh, ooh. So the ooh, it goes from a ooh to a ugh. you know, I'm like, a friend of mine told me that you should never say, the two nastiest words are ugly and hate. So I'm not gonna say it makes them ugly. I'm gonna say that it makes them unattractive to me. It makes them unattractive because they could be physically attractive, but I don't see that anymore. Once I see them smoking, I don't see it. I don't see it anymore. They just they just look unattractive. I almost said they look ugly to me, but that's terrible, terrible phrasing, terrible word. They could physically look attractive, but they look, but they become unattractive to me when I see them smoking cigarettes and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh gosh. Another one, or two of them, is I don't like when people spit in front of me. One, I don't like seeing them do it. I don't like hearing it. I don't like the I don't like that noise. I do not like that. As soon as I hear that noise, then I'm just like, oh. I try to cover my ears. I'm just like, oh, try to drown it out with my own noise. I'm like, oh gosh. Or just and then you hear the I'm just like, I do not like that noise. I don't like seeing people spit. I don't like hearing it. I don't like any of that stuff. I'm just like, oh God. But you can't control what other people do around you. I just try to get myself out of those spaces. If I see somebody smoking, I'm like, I'm going the other way. If I hear somebody spit, I try to get away from it as quickly as I can. Sometimes it's hard, but it's like, hey, um, and then another one. But this one, I guess, comes from trauma. I'm not going to explain in full detail the trauma, but I will say that I don't like being behind people. And the reason I don't like being behind people is because I don't know how to say this without it seeming weird. I don't, but I'm just gonna say it. I don't like when people fart in front of me, when people fart in my face, because I'm just like, not only did I get pink eye, but I'm just stuck thinking about that, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't even. I'm like, they did that, and it bothers me for some time until I'm able to move away. All you hear is, and it's just like, some people can't control it. Some people don't even say excuse me when they do it. They don't say excuse me, and I'm like, some people you can't even hear it. It's the silent ones. It's the silent ones. Or if they bend down to pick something up and they're in front of you, and you just like, I try to move to the side. Sometimes, it sounds weird. It does sound weird. I'm aware of how weird it sounds. But sometimes you're in a position where, for example, somebody is in front of you in the store, or you're in a line, or whatever the case is. You're talking to somebody, you're trying to get past somebody, and you're right behind them. You can't avoid being behind people. That's just how it is. As big a city this is, as big a population as it is, you're gonna be behind people, and people are gonna be behind you. Or if you're sitting in a space, you're sitting down somewhere, and then somebody is in front of you, and they're standing up, and you're sitting down, and it's like, it sounds weird, but I'm like, I don't like being behind people. I don't. Because I'll admit it myself, sometimes I feel foul in doing this, but I don't even say excuse me sometimes. Sometimes it just comes out. I'm just like, I try to pretend like nobody heard it. Or if they did hear it, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's just like, I know I did it. And then the person behind me, I'm like, if I was them, but I didn't know it. They didn't know it. And I didn't know it. But as soon as you say excuse me right after, and they know you're right in front of them, then it's like, oh damn. Then they know. They know what happened. I don't know how to. It sounds weird, but I know I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I'm not the only one that thinks like this, but I'm just like, that's just what it is sometimes. I'll tell you another thing. When I was working, when I was working customer service, this is something that normally happens, but when people randomly come up and start acting weird around you, and you're just like, you're trying to do your work, you're trying to just mind your business and do your work, and you're just like, okay, man, I hear you, but like, I'm trying to I'm trying to do my work, especially if I know like there's a moment in time where if I stop, I'm going to be checked. I'm not only going to be checked, but I'm going to be scolded for stopping. So I'm like, look, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I got work to do. I like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like at the same time, I'm also trying to avoid getting in trouble. I'm also trying to avoid getting caught. So, if you could do this while walking, and even if I'm doing my stuff, I'm coming over and I'm still talking to you, I'm still gonna get scolded. I would still get scolded. You know, I haven't worked there in a little bit, so. But this is just going back on when I was there. It's just like, I need you to have respect for my job. So, you know, I can't do this back and forth. I can't like continuously talk and talk and talk, because eventually they're going to come out. Like they have eyes. They had eyes in the back of their heads. They're always watching, even if it don't look like they're watching. They're watching. So it's like at any moment, if you stop, like even if you're going somewhere in the back where they can't see you, you're still watching. Or they're just like, I can't see you. So I know you're doing something. If you're talking to somebody back there, or you're getting something that needs to be brought to the front, and you're talking to you and they're kind of holding you up, I'm like, some conversations, I'm like, they're deep. They were deep. And I enjoyed the conversations while I was still trying to be conscientious. But some of them, I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, this is going on way too long. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm like, I'm hearing it, but I'm not hearing it at the same time. I'm like, but it's like, yeah. But those aren't even the ones that annoy me, that pee me the most. It's the ones that are rude for no reason, and the ones that start problems with you for no reason at all. I'm like, look, man, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to deal with this mess. I'm just trying to get this money. I don't have time to deal with this. I'm just trying to pay my bills. I'm trying to pay rent. I'm trying to pay my bills. I'm just trying to make the money. And you're getting in the way of that. And then you go get me in trouble because I have to get in this conversation with you. I gotta get in a conversation with you, and I gotta talk, and I gotta make my case to them. And then you're over here starting something for no reason because of the day that you're having, and you're deciding you're gonna mess up this employee's day. That's what you're deciding to do. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do you're gonna do it at this time because the day isn't going well for you, or your life isn't going well right now. So you decide that you're gonna do it and make it. You're gonna make it hell for me or for somebody else who is working. You know, uh, but at a certain point, you stand your ground. It don't even matter at that point. You got to stand your ground. And those are my pet peeves, honestly. I went on longer than I wanted to. This is supposed to be a shorter video, but hey, this is just showing you how much of pet peeves these are to me. Honestly. Honestly. So, yeah, that's it for me. What is your pet peeve? Or what is something that you dislike? You know, that may be a turn off for you. There you go. All right. And I keep clapping. All right, let's go. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good question tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Peace.